Today, we're talking about rules when it comes to parking.
All right, so what's legal? What's going to get you a ticket? What do you do if you have one? Joining us in studio, Sergeant Brian Pennings from the CHP to answer those questions for you. Let's talk about when you park along a colored curb. Okay, or you may be in a place that's pretty close. Is it done by wheels? Is it done by bumper? What do we need to know there?
Well, if you are lining up against parking along the road, it's done by the edge of your car. So, for instance, a driveway or a red zone or whatnot, it goes by the bumpers of your car, not the wheels of your car.
How about if it's a colored curb?
Like same thing.
So it's not the axles.
No, it's not your wheels. It goes by the bumper of your vehicle.
Gotcha.
All right. Can you park in front of a fire hydrant that's not marked?
No. Well, no, you can't. Usually they're painted red. But even if they're not painted red, you have to park within 15 feet. You have to give 15 feet in each direction of it, even if it's not painted red.
Okay, so what happens if somebody paints a curb on their own? They take it upon themselves, it's near the house, or it's in a situation where they feel like this has to happen and they do it. What happens if you do that and you're caught? How does the city find out? What do we need to know?
This has happened before. Yeah. People want to impose their own parking restrictions in front of their house. Yeah. We had one guy paint it blue because he had a handicap spot and he wanted. I was like, you can't do that. You don't own that curb. The city or the county own it. It's property of the road of the county or city roads. It's not your property. It's technically it's vandalism. And you can't do that. You have to go through the proper channels to have any parking prohibitions installed, and there's a manual for that, and they have to meet certain guidelines.
Fines?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you can get caught.
Yes.
All right. What's the difference between a no parking sign and a no stopping sign?
Okay. Typically, you'll see these around school zones. No parking means you obviously can't pull up, stop your vehicle, turn it off, get out, and leave. That's parking. Stopping is a little bit less than that, meaning that you can't even pull to the curb to stop, period, whether you stay in your car or not. That's the difference between no stopping and no parking.
So just don't do it?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so sometimes there are either a parking spot or a curb that is really faded out, or it's been painted over not very well. What do you do in those situations where you're not sure, is this actually red? Is this something that used to be?
Well, that's a maintenance issue, and it needs to be reported to the county or the city that they need to more clearly mark.
Sometimes they pave over and it's kind of like, it's kind of half there.
Well, there should be some discretion used by the enforcement agency as far as it needs to be clear and obvious. But I want to talk real quick about the different colors because they mean different things. Red obviously means don't park there. It's a fire lane. White means it's a loading zone, so you can load passengers in and out, but you can't park there. So it's typically for like rideshare and that type of taxi cabs. Green is used for limited time parking, and it's usually 20 or 30 minutes, but it'll be posted. If it's not posted, it'll be painted in white letters on top of the curb. Okay, and then yellow is used for loading, for typically freight, not passengers. Okay. So if you're not a commercial vehicle and there's a yellow curb, you can still park in there and stop and load passengers, but you can't leave your vehicle there if it's a yellow curb.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, I always kind of look at it and wonder, obviously the red, just stay away from it.
Yes.
Does there have to be a sign in addition to what's happening on the road?
Only if it's handicap. Blue means handicap.
So if there's no handicap sign,
right.
But there's a handicap zone.
It's a blue curb. The vehicle code requires there to be a sign posted, and it has to be painted on the road as well. It has to be clear and obvious.
How about if it's in a private parking lot?
Same thing. It has to be signed and painted.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so what?
All things you have to think about. I've actually had to go to, because I had to dispute a parking ticket, and it was a lot of money, and it was because I could not see the sign. The sign, it was a maintenance issue. Can I just take you to things like that and just say it should be at the discretion of the officer, right? Because you can't see it.
Right. There should be some discretion used when the officers are enforcing that. Correct.
So when let's say there's private parking lots, let's say a restaurant, and there's an event going on over here, and people park where they shouldn't. They park in the restaurant's parking lot. How is that enforced? How does that come to be?
Well, it's private property, so that would be up to the property owner to have the appropriate agency come in and do the parking enforcement.
So how do they identify you weren't doing business there? You weren't grabbing a drink at said restaurant and going over here as well? How does that
Andrew,
work?
you always ask me the tough questions.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's because
These questions I ask myself all the time.
I
Like,
know.
how does this work?
You would have to be able to prove that. And
Yeah.
They would,
So you had a
they'd
receipt
have to
from
you have to
1
monitor.
o'clock.
if it's a private property, you just shouldn't be, and you're not patronizing it, then you should not be parking there. Andrew?
I'm not saying I did it. I'm just saying what is.
So they would have to be able to prove that.
I may have done it once.
Yes.
And I may have gotten a ticket.
And I may have
been
gotten
towed.
somebody towed.
I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Well, that's the thing. A private property owner has the right to have vehicles towed off their property.
Yeah.
And if they can
But how do
prove-
they like identify? You have to like literally sit there and watch. You know, how do you identify
they
who's
would-
doing business there
you
or
know,
not?
they would do that. They also hire companies to do those parking enforcements.
How about people who park at like a mall, you know, and go somewhere on a trip? Is that the thing people do? Is that illegal?
If it's posted illegal, there's some malls that have it posted on the entrances to the mall that the vehicle code's actually enforced on their property.
And they do have security who drives
yes.
around to check
Yes.
whether or not
And
the
if
car's
it's a
been there.
private property, they can have the vehicle removed.
Okay, lots of good answers.